Let's do this.
Woo!
Ring the bell. This is Between the Ropes.
Oh, you're going for the dirt, for the behind-the-scenes stuff.
It's time to get between the ropes. Between the ropes.
He is Paul Heyman. He is the advocate for Brock Lesnar, who will be facing The Undertaker at WrestleMania 30 on Sunday, April 6th, which everybody can watch live on the WWE Network. Paul, when did you start getting the feeling that this was going to be the match that took place at WrestleMania?
When did I have a feeling?
Yeah.
The moment The Undertaker walked out and confronted Brock Lesnar and savagely attacked him and chokeslammed him through the table and walked off with the contract.
But this is like a match that's like 4 years in the making.
Oh, it's more than 4 years in the making. It's 12 years in the making. Think about this. Here's the 800-pound gorilla in the room this evening. Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker have fought on pay-per-view before. The Undertaker's never been able to beat Brock Lesnar on pay-per-view. So there's actually two undefeated streaks walking into WrestleMania. One is the end-all, be-all, the holy grail itself, the WrestleMania undefeated streak by The Undertaker, and the other, the lesser-known one, and the one that really proves how much Brock has the advantage, is Brock Lesnar's undefeated streak against The Undertaker on pay-per-view.
What kind of challenge is this for you when it comes to the mystique of The Undertaker at WrestleMania and the streak and everything that goes into it? I think a lot of people always wonder, is somebody really a challenger? Is somebody actually going to be able to beat Undertaker on this stage? What kind of a challenge is that like for you as somebody that speaks on behalf of Brock Lesnar and try to build up that match and create that doubt?
Well, I don't really have to create that doubt because right now the onus is not on Brock Lesnar to win the match. The pressure is on The Undertaker not to lose the match. The Undertaker has everything to lose in this match. He has nothing to gain. But Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, Brock Lesnar does not have to beat The Undertaker. The Undertaker must not lose to Brock Lesnar. See, the pressure is not on my client to win. The pressure is on our adversary to keep his streak alive against the most vicious, aggressive, intense onslaught he's ever had to face in his 22 appearances on the grandest stage of them all.
I like that you call yourself the advocate for Brock Lesnar. You're not the manager. You're not representing. He's not your agent. You're the advocate. How did you come up with that terminology? Because that's something that we've never heard before in wrestling.
Well, my father, as an attorney, was an advocate for his clients. And I don't like to think of myself as a manager anymore because I think that role is part of the past in pro wrestling, sports entertainment / WWE. I like to look at myself as someone that has evolved, and I have followed in my father's footsteps of advocating for my client, and my client in this case happens to be my best friend and someone of whom I have great admiration and respect, Brock Lesnar.
You mentioned that you guys are best friends. When did this friendship come together, and how did it come together?
The friendship came together when we got together professionally back in 2002 and realized just how similar our goals were both professionally and personally. On a professional level, we both want to be the absolute best at our craft. We will settle for nothing less than being at the top of our game on every appearance. And we want to leave a legacy of being the single solitary best in that particular role the industry has ever seen. On a personal level, nothing means more to either one of us than our children. And we will fight to the death for our children. And everything that we do, including everything that we do professionally, revolves around, is about, and is regarding the love that we have for our children. So both professionally and personally, as much as we are different, I mean, you're talking about a South Dakota farm boy that is a natural-born predator and conqueror, and a smart-ass New York Jew boy who's the son of a personal injury attorney from the Bronx. But as different as we are culturally, we are, as in terms of professionally and personally, we are very much alike.
You mentioned legacy. You've now been involved in this business for closing in on 3 decades. Has it felt that long to you?
In many ways, it's all been a flash, and I still excuse me, I still remember being the kid in the locker room with all these radical ideas that would change the industry and had all these concepts and visions of things that had never been done before. And I think the only difference is now I'm the old guy in the locker room that has these visions and these ideas of things that had never been done before that would be revolutionary and change the industry. I think it's just the shell of the man that is different, but I'm still the same person. I just approach it differently.
What kind of ideas do you think could still happen that you have rolling around in your mind that could still revolutionize the business?
Oh, I'm certainly not going to tip my hand and put them in print today and not get paid for them. If you look at the industry today and you realize where the business is today, a lot of people are sitting here and the first question on their minds is, well, when WrestleMania 30 is over, what is going to be the main event of WrestleMania 31? And I'm sitting here saying, okay, who's going to carry us into WrestleMania 40? Because I like to be forward-thinking and progressive, and I want to be around in 10 years doing the very same interviews with you or whomever replaces you, because you'll be an old man by then.
That's true.
And I want to be around there in 10 years still promoting my clients and advocating for my friends going into the main events of WrestleMania 40 and 50.
Who are some of the guys that you look at right now that either are on the current roster or maybe are in NXT that you think could be some of the main talent when it comes to, say, a WrestleMania 40?
I think Bray Wyatt is going to main event a WrestleMania. I think Roman Reigns is going to main event a WrestleMania. I think Seth Rollins is going to main event a WrestleMania. I think Dean Ambrose is going to main event a WrestleMania. I think AJ Lee could main event a WrestleMania. I think Cesaro can main event a WrestleMania. I look down at NXT and I see a whole roster of talent that can main event a WrestleMania. We are deluged with an overabundance of very talented superstars for the future. It all depends on which one breaks from the pack to emerge as the next big thing, the next great superstar, the next WrestleMania main eventer.
For anybody that watches you or has followed your career, it seems like everything that you've done has come very naturally. Has it always been natural for you, or how much work has it been?
Well, I mean, that's a very. I like when people say to me, "That's a very interesting question." It's as if I'm going to ask stupid questions. So I don't mean to slight you when I say that's a very interesting question, as if your other questions weren't as interesting. But that is an interesting question. It's intriguing to me. There's a lot of hard work and preparation that goes into framing the argument in front of the public that I want to bring forth on behalf of my client. But when I do it, I have such fun doing it, I can't really call it work. The work is in the preparation and the strategy. The performance is an absolute pleasure.
When it comes to WrestleMania now, you've been in the corner of people, you've worked behind the scenes, you've been an announcer. Is there any particular one of those roles that you enjoyed more than the other?
No, because each role has with it its very own benefits and gifts. It's an honor to sit there with Vince McMahon and determine which match goes on last at WrestleMania. It was the thrill of a lifetime to debut on WrestleMania as Jim Ross's color commentator and get to call Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. And yet I didn't make my managerial debut at a WrestleMania until I was 47 years old and got to walk out with my two best friends in two of the three main events at last year's WrestleMania, when I worked with CM Punk against The Undertaker and worked with Brock Lesnar against Triple H. So each of them have had their own emotional, each of them have presented with me different emotional satisfaction and satiated a different appetite that I may have had for things I want to accomplish.
What haven't you done yet that you'd like to do?
Well, I would like to do things that I can't envision today. I look at the industry today, and I understand all the many roles that I have played and can play and have had the opportunity to play. But shouldn't someone who wants to revolutionize or evolutionize a business, shouldn't my goal be to figure out something tomorrow that wasn't apparent to myself today? And shouldn't I want to look to do something 2 days from now that would never have been apparent to me tomorrow?
Could you see yourself ever having a role with the WWE Network? Is there anything there that intrigues you?
Well, there's a lot of things at WWE Network that intrigue me. And again, this is something that's truly in its infancy. I mean, ask me that question 10 years from now, and I'll have a much different answer than I do today, because the WWE Network has just launched. We don't even know the value and the success and the sell-through numbers yet. So I don't know how big this network will grow. I don't know to what degree it will grow. I do know that right now the WWE Network has just launched. It's in its infancy, and it's only domestic. Imagine the enormity of that brand when it goes global and starts going into international markets. So there's a lot of things to accomplish there. It's just beginning.
Two last things. You've got a DVD coming out that's going to be focusing on you and your career over the summer. I believe it's called The Paul Heyman Story. What are your expectations for that? How do you think you're going to be portrayed?
I don't know how I'm going to be portrayed. That's really up to the people who are going to direct it and produce it and edit it. I'm very clear as to who I am. I know the upside of Paul Heyman. I know the downside of Paul Heyman. I embrace myself despite of and in spite of my flaws. When I go home at night, I'm a father to my children. And as long as I do that job properly and with love and compassion and understanding, then I will have a clear conscience in life. This documentary, because I don't even call it a DVD anymore because it's Blu-ray, there's streaming, there's all, DVD is like saying your videotape, So this documentary is a momentary capture of how Paul Heyman is envisioned at 48 years old. It's a much different picture of what I was at 38, which was a much different picture of what I was at 28 when I first took over ECW, which was a much different picture than what I was at 18 when I was about to work at Studio 54 and I was doing college radio and running 3 newsstand wrestling magazines, and a much different look at what I will be like when I'm 58 and I look back at myself at 48 and realize what a schmuck I truly am today.
Last thing, are you surprised by the amount of attention you got back in February from TMZ when you decided to lose your ponytail?
No, because I'm never surprised by most people's obsession with holding on to the past, and whether it's TMZ or any other mindset that's out there. When someone makes a change like that, it's always considered radical, and for me, it was just a gentle reminder to the public that I'm moving forward and evolving and never living in the past.
It's amazing. Losing a ponytail is evolving in today's world.
Well, hey, listen, it must have been a slow news day.
I guess so. WrestleMania 30 is coming up on April 6th. It will be taking place at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. Everybody can watch it live on WWE Network. Brock Lesnar taking on The Undertaker with the streak on the line. Also on that show, you've got Daniel Bryan against Triple H. The winner moves on to challenge for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Batista and Randy Orton. Paul, thanks for the time. Keep up the great work, and hope we can do this again soon.
I look forward to it.
The talking is over.
Thanks for downloading Between the Ropes.
Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
For more, go to BetweenTheRopes.com and subscribe to Between the Ropes on iTunes.
Thank you. Have a nice day.